haven't had two draft picks probably, and God knows forever. I don't know if they ever did, but they probably did. So what you think the Patriots going to do with these draft picks? Now I read a lot of things. They said they really did like Josh Rosen. I don't think Josh Rosen's going to be there for them to make a move to get to probably that 3 spot. I think the Jets going to go for Josh Rosen. I think there's no doubt in my mind. I think the Jets going to get Josh Rosen. And if he falls, I think Buffalo is kind of sitting behind Cleveland to make that jump if he falls. Because I think Cleveland going to get their man at 1 for sure. Number 1, they're going to get their man. I think the Giants, if the Giants feel froggy, but I kind of don't think the Giants going to do it. I don't think the Giants going to do it. I think the Giants might go, I really think if they do it, they might make a deal with somebody. They could. It's so confusing. Like, I really, like, y'all got to understand something. I'm excited about the NFL draft. I'm going to tell you why. It's like there's so much soap opera drama around. Like there's so many scenarios that us as the fans can put our minds together and really think about. Like, what if, the Odell Beckham situation, the 2 first-round draft picks are still on the table? What if all of a sudden, peep this out. Peep this. I thought about this one earlier. So what if New England do find a way to get in the top half of the draft? They use their first two first-round draft picks to go to Cleveland number 4. So Cleveland gets the other 2 first-round picks. Then somehow, someway, Cleveland, if the Giants still have this 2 first-round pick deal for Odell Beckham on the table, Cleveland gives them New England's 2 first-round picks to the Giants, and they get Odell Beckham. It's a lot to think about. I think that number 4 pick, and I think once the drafts, the first 3 picks, I think that's when New England going to start making a move. I don't see why New England want 2 first-round picks. I don't. Because, once again, and then I don't see why they want 2 first-round picks. Now, granted, they need a lot of help. Now, granted, what if they keep the picks? They could keep the picks. Calvin Ridley is starting to fall in a lot of draft boards in that back half, about the 20s. You get Calvin Ridley. I think they need some help at receiver now. You lose Brandon Cooks, you lose Julian Edelman, so all you got left, not Amendola, so all you got left is Julian Edelman, who's coming off an injury. Gronkowski is still kind of up in the air, but I think he's going to be back. So what do? You need some help. You kind of need some help. Or do you want to go get your quarterback for the future? You trade Jimmy G. Jimmy G gone. He's in San Francisco. He got paid. He's going to be probably one of the more productive quarterbacks to play in San Francisco since Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. So what do you do? New England got so much firepower right now. It's a damn shame. Like they really have they just, to me, they got so much what ifs going on. And like they can really take the game to the next level if they do it. Like to me, it'll be interesting all of a sudden on draft day. By the time we get to number 4, Commish come out. Commish say, he said, there's been a trade. The Patriots have the 4th pick. When do you see the Patriots have the 4th pick in the NFL draft? But you see, they have leverage. That franchise know that they always going to be in the back half of the draft for the first round. So what if they even try to convince somebody to give them this year's first 2 first-round picks and also give up next year's first-round picks as well? Because they always find themselves in the back half. To me, they're not really, in the first round, they're not really looking for true star-stud talent. They're looking probably to make deals to get veteran players on their teams. That's just the Patriots. They can afford to do that. Interesting to think about. I'm telling you, New England has the most leverage to me right now that can really shake the draft for the rest of until we get there. Unless something else dramatic happens. I think this has to be, because when you look at the quarterbacks between Donald, Allen, Rosen, Mayfield, and Jackson, the top 5 guys that everybody's talking about, all these guys, and a lot of people high on Rosen. They think Rosen is probably the most NFL-ready guy than all of them, which I watched some of his tape. He really is, but I think he's still a work in progress. I'm not too sold about him. You know, he's still a work in progress. Everybody is, to a degree, has to get better. If New England can get their hands on one of these top guys, something that they haven't done, I mean, I think when the last time they got a great quarterback early in rounds would probably what? Bledsoe? Somebody like that nature? To a degree. They had Jimmy G. And Jimmy G, now he's slaying it for San Francisco. So if New England can get some of these top guys to come sit behind Tom Brady, because I'm sorry, I hate to say it from a degree, how much longer Tom Brady can keep doing what he's doing at a high level? I think he can keep doing it for maybe about another year, maybe 2 years, and he's going to be out of here. I think Belichick knows that. Let me get one of these work in progress guys to train behind number 12 to continue to keep my franchise afloat to win championship. Because at the end of the day, I think Belichick's not going to be in that head coaching spot much longer. I think Josh McDaniels going to take the ship, and he's going to continue to keep the Patriots organization afloat for a long run. Every great franchise has a great student behind the great master, and that's going to be Josh McDaniels. Who you think is going to be eventually? You see what the Spurs going through right now. They going through some problems, but they about to find a way to fix that. That's going to be on my next show. I read something about the Spurs trying to fix their problems about the Kawhi Leonard situation. I'm going to talk about that one next time. I don't have it in front of me right now. Every franchise is going to have great students behind the master to take over the keys to keep the franchise afloat. That's just a part of the game. Come on, man. That's a part of the game. So, New England know what they're doing. They're not stupid. They're definitely not stupid at all. Not stupid at all. So, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. We about a week away from the season ending. It's getting real, man. It's honestly getting real. I watched some parts of New Orleans the other night as they took on Memphis. Really wasn't too much to watch. They beat the brakes out the Grizzlies. As tonight they're going to take on the Phoenix Suns. Another must win to stay in the playoff flow at this moment in time to stay alive. The Pelicans find themselves right now at the 8th seed of the Western Conference with a lot left on the line because there's no room for error. Now, granted, they lost 4 straight in the last week of basketball. Lost some close games. They should have never lost to Cleveland on Friday night. They should have never lost to Oklahoma City, but they found a ways to lose that game. They and that's what makes me concerned when it come down to how they're going to act when they get to the playoffs. Which team going to show up every night? Each one more dropped 30 against the Memphis Grizzlies. 30. Weird, man. Very, very strange. Very, very strange. So let's look at the standings in basketball right now. In the game of basketball, let's go out east first. Number 1 team in basketball in the Eastern Conference, the Toronto Raptors. It's number 1. Boston is 2. Cleveland is 3. Philly 4. Indiana 5. Miami 6. Washington 7. And Milwaukee is 8. Now, I will say this, between Miami, Washington, and Milwaukee, it can all change. They're kind of fighting for positions for who they're going to play in the first round. I hope, in my opinion, I want to see Washington stay at 7 to play Boston in the first round. I want to see Miami stay at 6. Actually, I would love to see Miami kind of fall out to 8 and get Milwaukee to play Cleveland in the first round instead of Miami. I would like to see that. But to me, the most youth matchup that's going to happen is Philly and Indiana. Philly has a chance to go from one of the worst teams in basketball to being a 50-win team. So shout out to the Philadelphia 76ers being 2 wins away from being a 50-win basketball team. That's a major accomplishment from seeing how bad they were for the last several years, and now they have a chance to be a 50-win basketball team this year. So gotta give love to Philly when that is due. Let's go out west. There's only 3 teams that clinched their spots in the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. That's Houston, Golden State, and Portland. That's your 1 through 3. Let's go between 4 through 8. Utah, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, and Minnesota. On the outside looking in, there are 2 teams on the outside looking in. There's Denver and there's the LA Clippers. with 35 losses. New Orleans has 34 losses. Oklahoma City and San Antonio, and they just had 34 losses. Yeah. So, so with that, I think to a degree this has to be probably the best matchups of the playoffs, especially in the Eastern Conference. I'm very proud to see how well the East still stayed alive after losing Jimmy Butler, after losing Carmelo, going out west this past season. How well alive the East has still been very competitive to a degree. Um, I think, to me, I hate to talk about this, but I think I'm gonna get criticized for it. But I gotta talk about it. I think this is the best time to kick LeBron James while he's down. Cleveland has to have probably the worst personnel roster right now that I think LeBron has had in a long time. A lot of people compare this roster compared way back when he had Boobie Gibson and Julius Sagowski. I think what God knows who else who was on. Carlos Boozers was on that team when they played the Spurs way back in the day. So a lot of people compare this team to that team. It's just kind of thrown together to a degree. Got a lot of OG guys on the team playing with a lot of young guys. This team is made for post LeBron James, in my opinion. If LeBron's walk and you build your team around Kevin Love, you can still be a 4 or 5 seed, potentially still winning 50 games or at least 48, 47, 45 games next year, still be in the playoffs, still being a consistent playoff team. Dan Gilbert is not dumb. He don't want to be screwed over again like he was before, when he was left with no basketball team at all, when it was the dumps of the dumps. He don't want to get that look again. This team is made for post LeBron James if LeBron leaves the Cleveland Cavaliers again. That's why this roster, to me, this roster is not built to be a championship team. So that's why I'm challenging the Toronto Raptors. Kick a dog while he's down. I can't say because now Kyrie Irving is out. I don't see Boston really making too much noise. Actually, to a degree, remember Boston actually went down 0-2 last year to the Chicago Bulls in the first round, but they found a way to win the series. I don't think Boston, if Boston caught napping, I think Washington can win this series in 6 in the first round. That's why I kind of hope Washington don't stay at that 7. I want them to stay at that 7 spot, play them in the first round. That's what I'm hoping. So, to me, this is the time when you kick a dog while he's down. Toronto got to find a way to dig deep. To me, it'd be good for the NBA if a team from another country can represent the NBA Finals. Toronto been so close for years. They're years and years, way back from Vince Carter playing Allen Iverson in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, and they still couldn't get over. Years. That'll be good for their franchise to a degree. Now, let's look out west. Now, I really can't talk too much out west because they only have 3 teams that's locked up in the Western Conference. But let's just say, what if, to a degree, Houston will have to play Minnesota. That's a challenging series, man. Cause, that's going to be physical for Houston. Golden State will have to play New Orleans. Don't know what team you get. New Orleans might win a game, and then they'll be out of here. Hate to say I love my team, but I don't think they'll win much. Portland will have to play Oklahoma City. I don't know if I was Portland if I want to play them cats. If they really get it together at the right time. Oklahoma City can win that series. It can kind of go both ways. And Utah will have to play San Antonio. Yikes. I think everybody, even with New Orleans, probably be more the weaker one out of all of them. Probably with the worst matchup playing the Golden State Warriors. But I think out of all of it, it's very competitive. Very competitive. I think some of these teams, like these mid-card teams like New Orleans and Minnesota and Utah and Oklahoma City, who are trying to make pushes to make a statement for next year, they have the golden opportunity this year to make some noise and try to get some people to come next year to get them on the bandwagon. I just think New Orleans' chances is a lot higher because they're missing a star player. DeMarcus Cousins is not here. Let's keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Then also, if New Orleans also play Golden State, Stephen Curry won't be in for the first round as well. But New Orleans got to play their game for sure. They have to play their basketball game in the playoffs. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. But I just would love to see my prediction. I would love to see Houston and Toronto in the NBA Finals. If Oklahoma City